Good morning. I'm Joel Miller. I grew up in this congregation, and I grew up in this neighborhood. I have, many of you may live in houses that was once farmland owned by my ancestors. High Street flows through my life as well as through the places I physically lived when I was here. And I have to tell you that when I say where I'm from, I will tell people I'm from the First Unitarian Universalist Church of Columbus. So you guys all mean a lot to me. And it feels very appropriate to acknowledge with some gratitude the first peoples who were here. There were many first peoples that moved through central Ohio in the years before my ancestors came and settled the land around here. I got to know some of the Haudenosaunee people, the Seneca people, who live many of whom live in Western New York when I was the minister in Buffalo, New York. And they have a wonderful way to begin anything that they do, which is a prayer of gratitude. And let me just say as we begin, I want to acknowledge this land and it's having been a home to many peoples, including those first peoples, among them the Seneca, and my gratitude for the land, my gratitude for you, and gratitude for the heritage that we have, which is very rich and very diverse. Good morning and welcome. What wonders? We're going to sing. Is that what happens next? Yes. I changed the order of service a lot this morning, so we'll be figuring things out.
Good morning. I'm Jim Conlon, and I'm happy to serve this congregation as a member of your Board of Trustees. My pronouns are he, him. Welcome to First UU, whether you are joining us online or in person, and whether you are a new face or a familiar one, we are glad you are here. If this is your first visit, please stop by the welcome table out in the gallery for your first-time visitor gift. Everyone, please let us know you are here today by scanning the QR code on your order of service or on the screen behind me. Here you can check in, find our order of service, the Joys and Sorrows form, and our donation page. We have a couple of announcements. Our General Assembly, or GA, as the cool kids call it, is the primary way we come together as a single body to deliberate, discern, and take democratic action to move the UU faith forward. This year, GA will offer several pivotal opportunities to take part in thoughtful discernment and dialogue about the future of our faith, in addition to many chances for connection, worship, and faith development in community with thousands of fellow UUs. See Friday's news to find a link to register and join us in Pittsburgh or online for GA this June 21st through the 25th and be a part of a historic time in our beloved living tradition. Next, we have a message from our rummage sale team. Sam?
Good morning. My name's Sam Haddon, and I use pronouns he and him. You may not recognize me, but this snowbird recently flew in from Miami to Ohio. Crazy, right? I left the sunshine, the palm trees, and to come to Ohio. Bit backwards. Okay, but hey, the rummage sale needed me, and I needed them, okay? I've been a UU a long time, so I know that people here at First UU are not just sitting in the pews, but they're sitting here to make a difference, okay? And what better way to do that than by volunteering for the rummage sale, okay? I spent about 3 hours walking downtown businesses, handing out and posting flyers, okay? That's a bit of a commitment. But really, we need not just that, but we need you to join us to make this really work for us, okay? We need to stop and collect and organize donations, bake cookies, set up tables, sell all the goodies we can. Okay, and where to do that, that's pretty easy to sign up, okay? You can go to the rummage sale table in Beach Hall after the service. You can choose then how to get onto the form we're asking you to do the things that are of interest to you, okay? You can choose what you want to do, when you want to do it. It's like choosing your own adventure book, except everything ends happily because you're volunteering. Okay, we're really talking about an event just around the corner. It's Saturday, March 25th, okay? We need your support. Your energy, your humor, your love, and don't forget we need your stuff, okay? All right, it's less than 3 weeks away. That's nothing.
Are you taking clothes? No clothes.
No clothes, oh, excuse me. All right, yeah, I mean, what we need is your support, your energy, your humor, your love, and your stuff, okay? In my northern migration, I left a lot of my baggies behind. But we want yours to be able to sell it. So please go ahead and get ready, set, and rummage. Thank you.
Thank you, Sam and the rummage sale team. Yay. Now is the time to submit your joys and sorrows. Use the QR code that's available on the screen throughout the service or the paper forms in the back of the church. Because we have a change in our typical order of service this morning, I asked you to submit your joys and sorrows by the end of the bread commissioning this morning. And now we would like to invite the children who want to help bring in the light to meet Gus out in the gallery. Like everyone else, let's center ourselves as we listen to this morning's prelude. And now it's time for our children to bring in the light.
We light this chalice to live our lives as a prayer watering dry souls, mending broken hearts, refusing to be terrorized, seeking this world's beauty, and hanging on together through all its storms. We light this chalice. So before you guys have your children's story of Amanda, I just want to tell a quick story, because it's this story that I'm going to tell you guys and the adults at this moment. What's important about this story is I grew up in this congregation. So when I was your age, I wasn't in this room because this hadn't been built yet, but I was in the, I think it's the fellowship hall now. Or there was one Sunday when I was supposed to be in class, but one other kid and I decided to play a little tag, and there was a hallway right next to the sanctuary, and the minister at the time, the Reverend George Whitney, stopped in the middle of his sermon, came out a side door, grabbed me by the shoulder, and took me to the person who was the religious educator then, and said, "Take care of this." I was in a lot of trouble, but not that much trouble. I love being a part of this congregation. And now, 45, 50 years later, when people ask where I'm from, I'll tell them, I'm from the First Unitarian Universalist Church of Columbus. That's what the place means to me. And one of the story, very briefly, that is important for you all to know is how that affected things in ministry for me. One day, a fellow named, let's call him Josh, came into my office, and Josh was having a very bad day. He sat in my office, he was sad, upset, and he said, I've been in the hospital a long time. I'm struggling with a disease called schizophrenia, and I don't think I'm ever going to get over it. I just don't see how I can get around it. And he said, it just feels like it's eating me up. And I was upset for him, and I was mad at the illness for him, and I realized he kept talking about it as though it was him. And I finally said, something, Josh, I struggle with alcohol and addiction, and so I go to meetings, and it's something I struggle with, but it doesn't mean that's who I am. I'm still Joel Miller. And when I said those words, that came out of my experience here in this congregation. And you know what, Josh was amazed, because he was like, wait a minute. He realized he could be Josh. He didn't have to be schizophrenia. That was something else. He struggled with it, but it wasn't Josh. He got up and he left and he walked out and he was just so happy. And a couple months later, I happened to be talking with a doctor from the hospital where Josh had been, and the doctor said, you said something to a guy a couple months ago. And I said, oh, yeah. Yeah, he said, he's not there anymore. He's out and living on his own, and it's such a wonderful thing. He said, what did you say to him? I wanted to know. And I said, he was Josh. He's not schizophrenic. He's just Josh. And the doctor said, that's exactly what he needed to hear. How did you know to say that? And I said, I knew to say that because of the church I grew up in, because I came from here. That's how I learned who I was and how to be. This place means a lot to me, and I wanted to share that story with you all.
All right. Thank you, Sebastian, for your help lighting our chalice this morning. Good morning. I'm Amber Scott, your Director of Religious Exploration, and my pronouns are she, they. And as Joel mentioned, me, Amanda, and Andy are the A team. So if you ever call me Amanda, don't even worry, because we both have the AMs. So. Registration for Peace Camp is now open. For more information about this and other family programs, you can email me at amber@firstucolumbus.org. Today's story is called Errol's Garden, written and illustrated by Jillian Hibbs. I'm really good at growing things. I'm so good that we started running out of room at home. What I really wanted was a real garden. I dreamed about my garden a lot. Then one day, I noticed something I'd never seen before. I always thought we lived on the top floor, but there was another button. And there was a roof. I couldn't believe I hadn't seen it before. This was the perfect spot for the garden. I told Dad and Tia right away. We learned as much as we could about rooftop gardens. But we needed help. Luckily, everyone else was just as excited as me. We made a plan. Everyone had different things to bring, which was good, because there were lots of different things to do. And there still are. I love picking all the fruit and vegetables. I really love carrots. Gardens are fun because they're always changing. So, what will we grow next year? The end. In this short story, Errol gets help from everyone in his apartment building to turn the rooftop into a shared garden. Our congregation is like that too. We each bring our own gifts to contribute to the greater whole. I wonder what seeds we can plant now to help our community bloom into a brighter future. I now invite the congregation to form a sheltering arc of love as we sing our young people back to their families and out to class.
Slight change to our order of service. We are doing our commissioning next. So I would like to invite our bread members to make your way up toward the front. One way that our congregation fulfills our mission of creating community, working for justice, and engaging diversity is by working with other congregations through bread. Bread stands for building responsibility, equity, equality, and dignity. Bread is a congregation-based community organization of many different religious congregations here in Central Ohio. These congregations are united through bread to research proven solutions and apply nonpartisan pressure on local decision makers to improve housing, healthcare, employment, education, and other community problems in Central Ohio. The bread listening process can create community when we deeply engage with one another and get to know each other's concerns for healing our community that lie heavy on our hearts. Joining a bread research team creates opportunity to engage diversity as members of many faith communities in our city work together to find solutions. And the whole process is a way of working for justice. And a very vital part of that process is for Bread Network members, who you see before you, to invite a huge turnout from the 44 member congregations to the Nehemiah Action. With the energy of thousands of people present, the work done during the whole rest of the year is empowered by the people. So, those of our Bread Network members who are here physically are here in front of the stage. If you are virtually present on the live stream and feel comfortable, please type into the chat, "I am a Bread Network member." And I myself am also a Bread Network member. So this spring, we will be working for justice by reaching out to all of you and all other members of First UU and others, and asking you to attend the Nehemiah Action on Tuesday, April 25th. It's in April this year, okay? It's not in May, which is super different from previous years. We will again be at the Celeste Center. Bread staff is working to ensure a safe event, including masks and social distancing, and potentially providing a drive-in option. For those, but we really have found that being in person is what gets our elected officials to make the changes that our community needs. And our goal is 200 First UUers, adults and children, attending the Nehemiah Action, which is around the number of First UUers who usually attend a Sunday service and RE. So if one of these Bread Network members reaches out to you, I really encourage you, see if you can find a way to attend the Nehemiah Action. You would be adding your voice to thousands of other voices to work for justice in our community. So as Justice Coordinator of First Unitarian Universalist Church, I commission you as First UU's Bread Network members. May you be loving, persistent, courageous, and thoughtful as you reach out to invite fellow First UUers to join the Nehemiah Action. Thank you for your work for justice. And now you may be seated, and our chalice choir will sing our special music. Yeah, of course. Kids count too. Beautiful. Just hearing the choir sing makes me so excited about spring. So, in the month of March,